special episode, you guys, of As the Pages Turn. This is definitely a book episode, and this is definitely a special episode. But
Very
this is a
special.
part 2 because we just uploaded the AML part 1, and that was wild. And then but so as we had said in there, we were probably going to have a part 2, possibly down the road. But like this stuff has been popping off for the
way
last
this is going, we
3
may end up
days.
with surprise part 3. So keep your fingers crossed that we don't have to.
Oh, right. I mean, the veins on our heads might explode. That's definitely a real thing.
Well, this is beyond upsetting. I mean, of all things to do for a book event, it's like treating book people like we're some kind of joke.
Oh, man. Okay, so in the update, I don't even remember what we covered in part 1 because we knew a little bit. We knew a little bit here and a little bit there, and then...
Okay, I'll run down the list because I edited the video. We first, we're showing some sympathy till we got more information.
Yes.
Then I made sure that we had our statement retracting that because we feel no sympathy for these people. I want to emphasize that.
It's
Let me see
shit.
What else. We talked about how the Lavender Ball was a shit show.
Oh.
We talked about a supposed to be paid for Hilton rooms that were not good, and they had to say
there's more details on that too. There's so much more. But go on.
Actually, y'all, I'm gonna stop right here because I know I'm doing a rundown, but I'm thinking there's so much stuff. People, if you have not watched part 1, go watch part 1, then come back here so we can tell you the rest of the story because this is the biggest. This is the biggest. I'm trying not to swear right now. That's how bad this is.
It's so fucking bad. It's just like this chick is wild. Like I'm having to bring up like videos because I'm just like I want to make sure I'm on point. Okay, so let's start this off again. So we have the AML A Million Lives, correctly titled now A Million Lives because I think we lost count at like 50, but the lies are real.
There's
lies
more than 50
real.
lies. There's so many lies.
It's like, nobody, I mean, I feel like everybody signed up for a book festival and got a live festival, like, and how to lie badly on top of that.
There are more lies told. There are more lies told at this event than Loki tells in an hour.
I mean, it is wild. It is, okay, so we started off with, everybody was signed up to this event, right? And one of the biggest things, and a lot of authors said this, right? A lot of authors said, you know what, we probably should have realized that, because by the way, okay, and I'll just, hold on, before I get into this, first of all, the PR stunt shit, and I saw the chick who was trying, I'm not even gonna say her name, I saw the chick who was trying to be like, well, I think it could have been a PR stunt. Girl, go back to your troll hole, because that's all I gotta say to you. Second,
literally, and don't come back.
Right? And for the people who are like, well, why didn't they see the red? But here's the thing. You had a lot of new authors, and even the vets who have been to numerous events. Like, here's the thing, because you go into this and you're like, oh, this is going to be my event. I have books, I have this, I have that. And you're going into this like, oh my God, I want to do this. And so you can be so hopeful sometimes that like you miss the obvious signs. You miss the problem.
The signs aren't 100% obvious till it's too late.
Exactly. So like, nobody should be, and by the way, if I'm going to tell you right now, I see anybody giving these authors or readers flack for going to this and all this, no, I'll block your ass so fast your head will spin. Not even will I block you, I will just put like, no, you need to go back to the little hole you came out of because you are not going to sit here and disrespect these people who were fucking traumatized by this event. That is not going to be allowed. Thank you.
Stuff like, should we mention the room with the mold first or keep?
Oh no, we're not. We're gonna, man. We gotta just start at the beginning. I think so. Anyways, so as we get into this, I think all of these guys, like, they saw the lack of communication, but like, I think they were so hopeful, and they were probably thinking, oh, she's an organizer. Because it didn't seem like she had a team. I guess she did
host other events. We should throw that in. Supposedly she did.
She has hosted one.
Events.
I heard that she had hosted one event before this. It went okay. But I also heard with that event, and I forgive me if I don't have the title right off the top of my head. My understanding is that people are now thinking that the only reason that event went well is because the place she held it at, which was a library, is very strict on their events. Like they tell you you have to have this, this, and this, and they have to have it verified. So people think that the only reason that event went okay is because of the fact that the place she was having it at was so strict. Like they don't evidently they must not trust their organizers. So
well,
like,
you think about it, the library probably does that just to make
yeah,
sure that they don't have any events that go south at the
yeah,
last minute and people don't
yeah,
waste their time, especially since it's a library. If they have to do something for an event, that's a
yeah.
lot of times people who can't come in and rent books. So you got to be careful.
Yeah. So I think so. What I'm hearing now is a lot of people are putting that up to not her as the organizer, but which is really sad that like you now have a second event. Now people are looking at your first event like, girl, you clearly weren't the one doing that shit. Like the library must have been the one doing like making
It
sure you
must
were on
have,
point.
because
So
she sounds more than a little incompetent. And this whole
so
thing has been
incompetent.
sounding more and more scammy.
And,
Like literally, since we finished our last video, every
yeah.
single day, more information has been
Mm-hmm.
coming out. You don't expect stuff like that, especially from a book event.
Oh, it's just so much. And here's the thing is like, I mean, and I think we listed some of the stuff, but I think we'll just run over it like, because there's more info to each section we talked about, right? So here, let's first talk about there was a huge lack of communication. And a lot of people saw this. And there were some people who had evidently pulled out because of that lack of communication, and including one potential, I believe, endorser of it who was going to support the festival. And they actually pulled out, and she ended up like still using their name to people. So they ended up having to do PR damage control. That was the thing. The hotel rooms. I think we talked a little bit about this, but we
Well,
found
I'm
out
going to
so
say
much
this. We
more.
talked a little bit about before, but one thing we did not mention is at that hotel, one of the authors said that there was mold in her friend's room.
Yes.
And it was so bad to the point she was coughing up blood.
Well,
So,
and let's start with the beginning part of that. So the beginning part of that was that some of these authors, the premier authors, whatever you want to call it, they had been asked to attend. They were asked to attend. They were promised that, they were going to get a hotel room that she was going to pay for. They were going to have at the Hilton, which by the way is attached to the convention center. So really easy access, which is great, right?
Yeah,
and
they were
going to right. And so they were going to have this beautiful room attached to the convention center. They weren't going to have to pay for it. They were going to get swag bags. They were going to get logos on the floor, logos on signage, da 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 da. And then we get to the hotel room part, and here's where I really like. I mean, not even there's going to be more stuff about like stuff that happened to the readers. I mean, there's so much shit, but like this is where I just at this point, these poor people, like they toughed it out so much. I have so much respect for all these authors who went through this, because
I would have been looking to see if I could afford a flight home.
I would have lost my mind. So, and this is exactly what happened to you guys. So numerous authors said we were told, and influencers, I'll talk because there were some book influencers there too. They were told, okay, you get here, your room is paid for, everything is solid. They get there, and then the hotel basically on the first day on check-in, the hotel that night, I believe it wasn't even that day. The hotel that night, evidently the card was declined. No shit, it was declined because anyways. So the card was declined. So then all of these authors were contacted. These people who had been promised a room, promised swag, promised all this shit, were then contacted by the hotel because basically telling them, you need to come down and pay for this room or you're going to have to leave. And I can't even, like, that would be so embarrassing. Like, one of the authors even said, it was so embarrassing that I had to go, like, she was in a panic because she was like, oh my God, I have to go down. I have to pay for this hotel room. Like, oh my God. And then on top of that, because it was really expensive, like, and then and here's the thing, well, not super expensive. It was the Days Inn. Sorry, let me go back a minute because I'm so mad. So basically,
I don't know. She's running a scam like that fake German heiress.
Right. So basically, they got told the day before, I believe. I think it was either the day before or like 2 days before that the Hilton had fell through. So then they go to the Days Inn, right? Okay, so that's the first part. Then they get to the hotel, they move their shit in. They did the first day, which I believe was the VIP day that she told nobody about. And then I believe it was either that night. I want to say it was that night. My timeline might be wrong, and I apologize. My understanding, maybe it wasn't on check-in, but I believe it was my understanding that night the card got run, it got declined. And then she basically messaged everybody to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. My identity got stolen. So that's one of the lies.
Let's get people start a lie counter. Actually, every time we tell you about a lie, if you have a beer or any other type of fruity drink, take a swig.
I mean, I don't want to give alcohol poisoning to our listeners, Crystal.
Yeah, never mind. Take that back. There are too many lies here.
Okay, take a shot of water, because for your health and
take
safety,
a drink of water every time
I don't. You will be very well hydrated after this story, let me tell you. So they get there. So they're told, I believe, at the end of the night that they have to pay up. So of course that would be so embarrassing. Like, you get told, oh, you better pay up because the card got declined, so you got to give us something. So these people, and by the way, this was the days in rooms, which then the mold stories come out. So these people had to go pay for these rooms and put themselves more in debt, okay, because they had already brought books and this and that and travel and food and right. So yeah. So then they literally, like, what was it? So then one of the authors said that one of her friends, and I don't know that I have seen that friend's statement, so I don't know if they've made one.
We've only heard it from the author in her video. We have not heard from a friend, but the friend went to the hospital supposedly.
Because there was black mold in 2 of the rooms, and so at least one of the rooms, to the point that one of the, I believe it was an author, got so sick they had to go to the hospital. They were really sick. They had blood, I guess, coming out of their nose. Like, I mean, I am just I am speechless. Like, on top of this, I would have lost my shit. I will tell you, right. I mean, I would have held it together while we're in front of the readers.
I proof would have been calling all the lawyers, because the days in had mold. That's where their responsibility to take care of. Plus, that lady lied. So that's another
so much
right there. You know what, Mia? We need to get on Lawyer Tube or Lawyer Talk. It's time to call the lawyer.
Say hi, Lawyer Talk. Please join in this conversation. But so anyways,
let's learn about the many damages. Right, actually, somebody's going to find us an attorney. Let's learn about the many damages that are coming out. It's going to be like the biggest bookage lawsuit of the year.
There's so many. Anyways. So that was like, what, lie number 10,000? Who knows? And then, the other part of that is, so, I mean, there's so many lies that got told to so many listeners, and so many readers and authors. For example, so here, I actually have a list of the lies, Crystal. Do you want me to read this list off? I got some of the lies.
A lie, and then we'll do detail. It's like read a lie, then read a lie, dealing with detail.
Every detail per lie. Okay, let's do this. So one of the people who was at this, who was a friend of mine, I had several friends of them. We had several friends of this event.
Yeah.
So one of them contacted me.
Featured in a newspaper about this event.
Oh man, so many. So one of the authors, actually, she's also I don't know per se if she's an author, but she is a book artist. That's what I would call her, because she does Slanted Shelf. If you don't follow her on TikTok, please find her and follow her. Alyssa is a sweetheart. And by the way, let me just say, my poor Alyssa, this was her birthday weekend too. She chose to spend her birthday weekend to do this event. And the poor girl, like, literally, the only thing that held this event together for her was the power of friendship. Thank goodness. Clearly. Thank goodness she had a friend there. Thank goodness the other authors were all trying to support each other. Like, I feel so bad that her birthday weekend was spent this way. Like, this chick, by the way,
refund for her birthday getting ruined.
Oh, and I ain't gonna be shy about her name right now. Sorry. So the Archer, she changed her name. I swear to God, she changed her name, because her name on TikTok was Archer Fantasy Entertainment, and then it changed to Archer Management. So now the official company name is Archer Management. Run the fuck away if you see that name anymore. I'm going to say right now, please don't pile on, because trust me, Book Talk has already done it. Yeah. And please don't go after this person.
Book Talk
However, what I will say is, I don't think she deserves to have her name kept secret. And because on my TikToks, I was not saying her name, because I was trying to kind of go with be classier than the person involved. But I'm only gonna say it once. I'll just refer to her as the organizer.
Yeah, but we're just doing this via the fact that she has caused a lot of people emotional distress. She has
caused so much damage, and I don't want anybody else. Because, by the way, you find out in a lot of these videos that she was an ARC reader for some of these authors. She is supposedly an author herself. she also is like has been in this community for a while. So like this is why I say when people are like, why didn't they notice the red flags? Because this was someone they trusted. This was a friend. This was someone who had arc read for
Yeah.
them. And I mean, people may not understand when someone arc reads your book or beta reads your book or puts in time to do this for you and they don't have to, that is like a powerful thing to an author. Like
It
you
builds a
look at
better
that
trust.
person, yeah, because you're like, oh my God, you had my back. You helped me edit because it's basically a form of editing for a book, honestly. And
Mm-hmm.
so literally, like she did things for other people, so they trusted her. They
Yeah.
trusted her. And so and that's the thing, like when you have a friend, I feel like we all have that friend blindness where we overlook some of the shitty things because we're like, well, this person's my friend.
Yeah,
So
and
surely
it
they
hurts
wouldn't do this
worse
to
when you
me.
feel like someone is your friend. They've
Yeah,
done something for you, so you think, oh, well, this is my friend,
yeah.
only for them to turn around and stab you in the back
Oh my God. The stabbing was multiple. So anyways,
repeatedly, very
so
painfully and deep.
let's get back to so
The list
going
of
back to
eyes.
this event, yes. So one thing was badges and wristbands and stuff, right? And signage. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about the wristbands, signs, and badges. And there's two lies in this count right now. So the two lies that were told were that the badges were shattered. I don't know how the fuck laminated badges get shattered.
I
What,
don't
they
know that
ceramic?
either. Explain that
Glass
to me.
badges?
Were these
What the
actually
fuck?
glass badges? Were they made out of very brittle dirt?
They were made out of the ice from Santa Claus. Well, and by the way, I have a conspiracy theory about Santa Claus. We'll get to that. So, anyways, and the signage arrived wet. So the signage, they were
How did
supposed to
the
have
signage
logos.
arrive wet?
I know. Crystal, don't ask me to explain the lies. I can't fucking tell you.
This
I
lady's
don't know.
nose is bigger than Pinocchio.
Anyways, these two lies. So here's the thing: when you go to a book convention, usually you get a badge or a wristband or something to say, "Hey, I'm the author," or, "Hey, I'm a reader," or, "Hey, I'm VIP," or, "Hey, I'm something." Right? Nobody. There were some wristbands. I was told there were some wristbands, but they were at like a table that was out of the way. So a lot of people didn't even get them. And by the way, supposedly she was at this table on and off. And for I guess for a few hours she just sat there doing nothing. Also, from a couple of videos that I
Oh,
heard this, so like she literally like it's so half these wristbands didn't even get passed out.
which is very
People,
unprofessional when you're hosting an
right?
event. Usually, if you're an author, you would be go over to whoever you're supposed to speak at the host table,
Mm-hmm.
and they make sure when they sign your name down to give you the wristband. That's like
What
101.
and usually, and here's the thing for people who may not know how book conventions work, a lot of times, and I will freely say I haven't been to one yet myself yet. I'm waiting, but usually how it goes is that people will go to the like people will actually get contacted before like at least a couple months to be like, hey,
Yeah.
here's the itinerary, here's where you go for the badges, here's where you go to pick this up,
You get an
here's the
email full
entrance.
of info.
Yes. So so here's the thing. She supposedly like on the fly that first day, people were trying to find the entrance because she had told them to go in on a certain street. And then they tried to go in and the door was locked. So then they're trying to go around the building and da 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 da. Finally, they found a security guard. Some of them got in later because, by the way, also she had fucked up the times of the event. So some
How
authors
did,
thought it was at
never mind.
9.
I'm asking too many smart people questions
Right,
above a
right.
very
Don't
truly
ask
dumb
smart people
person.
questions, Crystal. That's not for this event. So she hadn't given anybody an itinerary. She hadn't given anybody a hey, go here, get this contact. And my understanding is there were no signs. There was one sign, I guess, by this table, but there was no signs leading to any of the because there were supposed to be event rooms. There was
Yeah,
supposed to
we
be
did
this
mention
showroom where
the lack
they,
of signage in the last
yeah,
video, I believe.
there
But
was
yeah,
no,
there was no signs at all the first day, but the second day a sign appeared, but it wasn't very many.
yes, exactly. And then the logo. So she had promised the authors, especially for this 250, and we will,
Oh, I
Crystal,
remember that.
we were going
When
to
you
talk about
sent
this
me that, when you
250.
told me about that, because I hadn't seen that video, I'd seen a
Oh,
lot of stuff, but I hadn't seen that one. I
oh.
was about to shout. That made me
Mm-hmm.
so pissed because people paid
Oh,
extra money for that.
for that. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Ugh.
So basically, authors didn't know anything. So some authors were told one time, some were told another. Some of them managed to get there on time, wandering around. Thankfully, there were security guards. And let me talk about the security guards. I think some people are trying to find out their names to give them MVP, because these
They are the
security guards were the
MVP.
nicest part of the event, honestly, other than Steve. Steve was the real MVP. All hail Steve.
Well, of course, Steve is the real MVP. He brought the music.
He did all the work for the music. So there was that. So then,
all praise Steve for being there.
Right, all hail Steve. So the security guards, some people finally got to the door that was finally open. Because sometimes you have to go to like the warehouse dock part to like get your stuff and all this stuff. But by the way, half that stuff, I guess, either wasn't delivered or wasn't that, like, there was so many, like, so much disorganization.
All the stuff suffered the same fate my dad did when he told me what happened to his loss of hair. A fairy took it.
So, that was the third lie, by the way. There was supposed to be swag bags, right? There was supposed to be swag bags for authors, for influencers, for readers, for anybody who paid that extra $250. And I believe even the $150 people, I think, were supposed to get some. There were no swag bags. And by the way, this is where my conspiracy theory comes in. I believe, according to how she lied so much, that Santa Claus must have taken them because this is a bad economy. So Santa Claus, officially, you'll hear it here first. I think she's going to tell people that Santa Claus took the swag bags because he needed toys for next year's Christmas. Or this year's Christmas.
Fairness, that's a believable lie considering all the houses Santa Claus unfairly skips.
Right. So I'm just going to say, you heard it here. If the swag bag shows up at Christmas, then she will have been right about one thing. But not that she said that, but I'm just waiting for her to say it, really.
The stuff is too expensive because of tariffs, right. And no, we're not going to go further with that.
No. This is book drama only. So anyways. So that's 3 lies right there. There were no badges. There were no signs. There were no logos because authors, by the way, had sent in headshots. They sent in their logo brand. Like, you see my little avatar here.
Wait, you told me that, but I guess I'm still trying to believe the information.
Right. So, like, if you see here, this is kind of my logo for right now. I haven't changed it at all. But, like, it would be like if I sent her a headshot, this logo, like, that would be, supposedly there's supposed to be logos on the floor at the ball. There's supposed to be logos at different things. And then we have the table set up. I know for a fact that she evidently had given them a week before, by the way, not even months before, a week before, she sent them a sign, like the table sheet, okay, right, where tables are supposed to be. And then people got there, and clearly because the organizer wasn't going to organize, so tables had changed. And I forget the lie about why the table, there was a lie though. I promise you there was a lie, I just forget it.
It's okay, there's so many lies, it's hard to keep up.
It is. It's very hard on us and on the poor authors, man. Like, I feel bad they're having to test this.
She really took advantage of people.
Dude. So then she mismanaged the tables at the last minute because supposedly whatever bullshit she put. Oh, I remember. I remember the lie, Crystal. I remember it. Because I remember because somebody had mentioned in one of their videos that they think the reason why the table setup was done differently was because, the fire marshal has to kind of approve stuff because there's certain ways you have to do stuff. So evidently what they thought might have happened was that, because she told them, I forget the actual lie that was told, but what people think might have happened is that the convention center might have actually told her, oh, hey, you can't do the tables that way, and had her redo them. And by the way, on these tables, there's another thing. All of them were told they were going to have electricity, by the way, because there was a tattoo artist. Yes. So there was a tattoo artist there. There were several other, there was a lot of people, because what a lot of authors do now is they have little card reader things attached to their phones, right? So that they can scan your card in, you can pay for books.
Yeah,
you don't have to have cash. Yeah. And so you need, especially for different like props and stuff on your table, you need that electricity for whatever, right? And they were supposed to have electricity, and of course there weren't enough outlets. So what Slanted Shelf told me, I love my Slanted Shelf. She told me that she had electricity for her table, but that the tattoo artist didn't, and some of the other people didn't. And so the tattoo artist managed to get some, but that it was like a lot of authors who thought they were going to have it didn't have it. So everybody had to work together and figure out stuff so that everybody could. And I mean, I want to say that the only good thing about this event, and I will probably keep repeating this, is that these authors worked together so well and they tried so hard to be professional to keep it together because they did not want these readers to know the chaos. And it's funny because
and that's just pure professionalism right there.
you know
Unlike this host,
right? And so Slanted Stuff was really like, you know what, we probably wouldn't have. She was even saying, she's like, we probably wouldn't have even talked about any of this if we hadn't, if it hadn't been for the ball and the readers and what happened to them. And I was like, I believe you, like, because I feel like a lot of them probably would have kept silent on how much money they lost and all just the atrocious lies she told, just because they wouldn't have won. Because there is this thing, and this was mentioned actually by PB Squammer, who is kind of a book talk, I would say influencer, honestly, but I mean he might have another. I mean he's done some stuff. He's done a lot of stuff, so I don't want to just label him influencer. He's kind of in the book talk world, and
he's got a full, well-rounded bookie.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of stuff, and so I don't want to under, because he's a great person. He's very sweet. He
also
actually
not that
had
kind of bookie.
No. No. So he had said he had actually made a video. He was one of the ones who made a video who kind of said, you know what, yeah, stuff happened. I don't really talk about it because there was some stuff, but overall, I had a good time with the people who came and the authors there. So he was trying to be positive about it. And then after the fact, he came to live, and then I think he realized like how many lies were out there. So then he kind of did another video to say, you know what? But one of the things he mentioned in his first video, and this is something because somebody was trying to bring up this trend of like, well, why weren't they all talking about it right away? Well, first of all, some of the people were traveling from way out far away. Okay, so you got to give people time to get home, de-stress from this traumatizing event, and relax for a minute. So, like, I don't know why everybody expected day one people were going to have everything. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. But one of the things he mentioned is that, you never want to be the person from an event, especially if you're getting invited to that event and you're going to have a hotel room, because I believe he was one of the ones who's going to have a hotel room, possibly paid for it. I don't know if he was there with, I don't know if he was one of the ones who had somebody in town or if he was one of the hotel people, but he was one of the people who was invited to be like a featured person. And so you never want to be that person who goes to an event and then kind of whines about it afterwards, because that can be a bad look, right? So part of the being professional thing is like stuffing it down, putting a smile on and saying, okay, well, things are the way they are, but let's move on, right? So
you gotta do what you gotta do. Also, me, I want to say this real quick. This woman has pulled so much stuff that I noticed. I'm saying, a lot.
Well, it's just like, to me, it's like, I don't think, and I know some of the baby authors who were there didn't really want to talk either because they don't want to get a bad rap. And for that, let me say, you guys, I completely understand that you want to be professional on the book talk space, because if you're an author, influencer, narrator, whatever, you want to be professional as much as possible,
it's part of your career or part of something that you want to do.
So,
and it's understandable that you'd want to be looked at favorably and not be seen as a ragey, angry person.
Yeah, or as a narc, like, oh, they're whining, but everybody knows events are chaos. Yeah, of course. Events are always going to have some chaos because, everything is going to go crazy. It's just the law, right? So, but in this regard, I will say you guys deserve to have your piece said. And this is why I'm going to say this, because you guys were put through not just a regular event with a little bit of crazy. You guys had a shit ton of crazy. You had somebody who actively lied to you.
To pile massive amounts of poo. And save face at the same time.
You guys were lied to so much. You spent so much money. Again, last video, I was trying to be like, you know what? I don't want to say this is a scam. I'm kind of at that point right now. I'm waiting, because I'm telling you right now, if this chick does not give refunds to the authors and the readers, I will lose my shit. And I am not going to play it with this chick,
She will, because I already have, because I've been suspicious. Like the second I first heard about this, I was like, okay, how incompetent is this woman?
Yeah.
But the second I heard, before we even started recording, second I heard more, I was like, okay, I get the feeling she's running a scam, but I'm not going to say anything till, more information comes out. But I've hit well past the point where I feel like the whole thing was something where she put it together, thought she could possibly keep all the money and just do something beyond minor
bullshit
to trick people to make it look like, oh, well, I had an event.
Yeah.
And there was not a real professional event there. And even like a lot of stuff where we'll get into it with more lies, a lot of the stuff could even to a degree be fixed in one afternoon.
I know. It was what I never want to say something's an obvious scam. And I know a lot of people have been giving her grace.
Why they didn't see it out. I'm not going to call it an obvious scam.
Yeah.
I can call it a scam now because you and I have more information. Before when we first heard about it, it's like we can be suspicious, but we don't have enough to be sure. And you have to think about it. They had even less than that before the event.
Yeah. It's so wild to me that there was so much stuff done to you guys. So I think you should definitely trust me. You guys will be able to say your piece. I mean, especially now that this has made goddamn national news. I think you guys should say your piece
articles on
and
this.
Get it right. You guys need to say, you guys deserve to say your piece. You deserve to get it out there because you were put through something that you shouldn't have been put through. And for any of you who lost money, I feel so badly for you. And by the way, I'm going to pause right here this minute to mention, you guys, we have a link down below, and we will mention this again at the end. There's a link down below. Atlas Creed set up, put on his Indie Author Connect website, and we will link it down below. He has a list of every single author who went, especially the people who lost money. We are trying to support them, so we are trying to get their names out. We are trying to get them promoted. We want you to go find their books on Amazon. We want you to buy their books. We want you to go give these guys love and support because we want them.
Because this was traumatic.
And then KT, who is a narrator friend of mine, who was an author, who went to this event, also is trying to get together with some of the other people to put together a TikTok event. And I'm hopefully I get to help with it. I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to do whatever I have to.
You will keep me posted about this event.
I will.
I'll be there.
I know you will. So for KT's, they did post it on Instagram, and I don't know if they put it on TikTok yet. They are going to try to get an event together for all the authors who had to endure this bullshit and kind of redo those panels. Oh, we'll talk about those panels, Crystal.
The panels. I'm so mad about the panels. I mean, this is like something, what? I'll wait till we get to that because
hold it. We got to hold a separate range for separate time. So anyways,
let's keep going. We keep having to pause.
Okay. So, so KT is trying to get an event together with a bunch of other people, and they're going to try to redo this weekend, at least on TikTok and maybe Instagram Live, to promote those authors, redo those panels, and redo some of the shit that was not done correctly. So we are here for it. We support it. And we will bring you more information as we find out.
We will probably periodically post about it when we get a chance.
Yeah. So let's actually. The swag. Did I say the swag lie? I think I said it.
No, you mentioned the badges.
I did. So the swag lie was that the conference center threw out the swag, and Crystal.
I need to highlight this real quick. We did mention swag last time, but this is not the same as what we mentioned last time. Okay, proceed with the lie.
I should call this section the convention center lies. So here was the convention center lies. The convention center lies that she told as are follows. The conference center threw out the swag. Okay, I still say Santa Claus. She told them conference center.
Okay, when I took a cooking class and the chef talked about how somebody just took all the chickens we were supposed to cook and threw them out, I could believe that because they have been complaining for months about miscommunication, and she was complaining about how dare these people just come in there because they weren't authorized. But you are going to have a hard time getting me to believe a convention center of whom you are paying to throw an event would arbitrarily throw out your mother freaking swag bags. They would have contacted the event person first.
Crystal, that's not all. The convention center also threw out the ball decor the day before. That's what these people were told. That's what
there's
these
no way in
people.
hell. And there's no way in hell I'm not going to believe that. That's
and the water and snacks that she had told them would be provided. What? Guess who threw those out, Crystal?
the convention center.
The convention center.
It kind of reminds me of last episode when we were talking about how the original claim was that they had come and cleaned up the ballroom before anybody got there.
I know.
They went from cleaning up to this amazing rate to, oh no, it was never there to begin with because they threw it out. There are too many lies here.
So many lies. So just to address the convention center lies, so we still don't know where the swag went. I say Santa Claus. That's my. Do you have a conspiracy theory, Crystal? I say Santa Claus.
I'm thinking Santa Claus because all this stuff is so damn expensive. He already skips a lot of neighborhoods he probably should visit that believe in him, but he can't even afford to bring the gifts to neighborhoods he does visit, and he don't want to look bad or get kicked out of the yacht club that we all know he's in. So he must
Santa Claus
give him something.
Santa Claus clearly stole swag bags. As for the rest of this, the snacks, the water, the ball decor, Crystal, this conference center has had massive events. This is a Baltimore City Convention Center. I believe they've even hosted some Super Bowl parties. Like, how are you going to tell me?
Massive events. If you actually go to their website, they have pictures of the rooms being very beautifully decorated.
Well, this convention center has held a bridal and wedding expo. They've held cancer parties. They just held the Notre Dame. I believe they're holding, when is it? The 20th. They're having the Notre Dame Maryland University graduation. So this is not a place that does not have experience with huge events.
If anything,
so you're telling me that they decide, right? You're telling me that it's your event, that they decide for your event, they're going to throw everything out the window. Are you for real?
Mia, this was the event. They felt like, okay, it is time for us to stop acting like a professional event center and start screwing up. And this is the event where we're going to start screwing up. I mean, seriously.
It's just ridiculous. So anyways, so here's the thing though, and we did mention this before, I want to mention this again. This convention center did not do shit because and it wasn't just, I thought it was one author, several authors wrote to them.
I do not do shit. We're not saying that they were being lazy. We're saying that they weren't the ones messing all this up. This has been clearly a lot of lies.
This is on the organizer.
I want to highlight that because I don't feel like it's fair to lie on the convention center when this person is clearly messing up.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Several authors wrote to the convention center to be like, hey, we were told you lost our swag. We were told you lost this. We were told. And the convention center very clearly said, we never got anything. Basically, their answer was, we never got anything. We were never given anything to lose. So all of this swag that she got from people, all of this, I don't even believe she had the water and snacks. I don't even believe that.
I don't think she all this shit. Water.
I don't think she has shit, honestly. And the ball decor, bitch, please. Ball decor, she wouldn't even go to
the damn dollar store, so I'm not even going to try.
Wow.
She could have gone to the $1.25 store and done something nice for like $40, but did she even do that?
Yep. No. Yep. And so this is the thing is, clearly, we want to very clearly state, the convention center didn't do shit. This organizer, it's all on her. So anyways,
that's all these lies.
All these lies. There's so many lies. Oh, let's talk about, you know what? Let's talk about, before we get to the ball, because I think you and me are going to rage about the ball the most. But let's talk about
I'm still recovering from last time when we raged about the ball.
The attendance lies are actually wild to me because the fact, and by the way, to be fair, up into this date as of today, first, I'd like to say refund-wise, I've been told one person has gotten a refund so far. One person. Out of the 120 vendors, authors, and other narrators who attended, only one person has gotten a refund. And I have been pretty much been told, it's pretty much been applied to me that the readers are just getting fucking ignored. And I am incensed about that. I am incensed that you dared to have an event, you lied to everybody, and that you're going to ignore the readers who rightfully probably want a refund. I mean, they probably had, I know some of the
They would
readers, and
deserve one.
the readers were so sweet. There were readers who posted who said, "Oh my God, we did not know that the authors went through this because they did such a good job." So to the readers, first of all, you guys are always the MVPs, but especially at these events. But for this event, you readers were the MVP royalty because you guys were what made it worth it for the authors, even though there weren't that many of you. But that was again not on you; that's on the organizer. Um, you guys made this experience at least go a little bit for them. And the fact that this person is ignoring you flat out, I just, that in like, bitch, please. How dare you? How dare you ignore the very people that are what made it possible for you to have even this trash event that was? Are you for real
I don't
right
know.
now?
She's just a scammy person because I don't trust her. When I saw her apology, it didn't feel sincere.
Bullshit
The more that
apology.
came out, the more I felt she is not
Yep.
a trustworthy person. And like I said,
Nope.
I think she's one of those people who pretends like she's throwing this big event type of deal, but then does next to nothing to try to keep as much money as possible and screws everybody over.
And so let's talk about the attendance lies, because this is what led to a lot of authors losing money. Because, and I have this verified by Slanted, that they were told when they signed up on the original form, they were told that there would be 1,200 readers. That was the year and a half before. They were told there would be 1,200 readers at this event. And then, at least she was. I've heard from other people that they were told between 400 and 700. So the numbers have never matched, but especially never matched this whole entire time. And so people were told. And then the Friday before the event they were told there would be 600. Okay, so 600. So these authors went by these notes. So you're telling me, and especially 600, oh my God. So like you're telling me you told people 400, 500, 600, 1,200. You said this many people. And then, so of course these authors and vendors spent money to bring extra things so they would have enough, because you never want to show up at an event and be the person who doesn't have enough shit with you.
That's true. Like, and I'm going to give you guys this quick example. Years ago when I was in university, we had a speaker come, and he was an author, and he introduced his book, was about everything. His publicist person only brought one large package of books instead of 2, which is what he needed. So that I'm bringing this up because with stuff like that, that's what we mean by be prepared, because you would always want to just make sure you have enough, because if you have, because this guy had a long line of customers, and if you have that potential to sell, you want to make sure you have enough.
Right. And so let me give you guys some figures. So I'm going to use myself as an example. My second book that just came out, Misery Loves Company, right? Misery Loves Comedy. I can't even remember. I'm so bad I can't even remember my title.
You said Misery Loves Comedy. You're right.
I said company first. I don't even know. I'm so bad.
They got you so frustrated where you're saying stuff correctly.
I didn't even go to this. People, you think I'm mad now. If I had gone to this, oh boy, the rage would have been boiling. So anyways.
Oh, please. We wouldn't even be able to record. I would have been trying to calm her down.
This would have been like, breathe me up. So anyways.
Read me. I don't have any bail money.
Right. So just to use myself as an example, right? So say I had wanted to go to this event and she had told me there's going to be 600 people. Let's go with that number, right? So let's say that because Misery Loves Comedy, for my like to get this book sent to me so I can give it to other people, I have to buy the book from Amazon to get sent to me, right? So let's say I buy 300 copies. It's about $4.20 a piece, okay? So let's say it's $4. I think it's Prime shipping's free. Thank you.
No, they don't do Prime free shipping for the books.
Huh?
Prime doesn't, when you order your
I thought they did. For some reason I thought they did free.
You have to look at it.
Well, see, I didn't even include shipping. I'll be nice. I'll say $8 for shipping. So let me add on to this, first of all. So let me do that. We'll just say $8 for shipping. All right. So that's if, there isn't any kind of a better discount for the shipping. So let's say that I order three. I won't. Let's ignore this. I'll even be fucking nice. This twit. I will ignore the shipping cost for the books. So let's say I order 300 books at $4 a piece because I'm thinking, oh, there's going to be 600 people, but maybe all 600 won't get to my table. I want to make sure I have at least 300 copies, right? Because I want to make sure I sell. For 300 copies at $4 a copy, I would have spent $1,200. That would be that'd be the first chunk of money. $1,200 for just 300 copies. And here's the thing: what if you bought 500? What if I bought 600? That's just for my book. And my book is not even that my second book is not that huge. So for some of these books, extra pages doesn't equal extra money. So you're telling me that like these people spent at least $2,000, at $1,000 to $2,000 just for their stock, just so they would have enough for the readers. And so attendage is very like the attending numbers matter for authors because that's what we base like, okay, how many items do I bring? And that doesn't include, by the way, a lot of these authors brought special toys and special items. I mean, I heard there were some wonderful adult toys there because some of the more smuttier authors, some of the spicier authors brought extra goodies with them. So you're telling me you spend $1,200? I would have spent $1,200 for the books. Let's say I brought tons of swag with me, not just the swag that got lost. So that's another $300 to $400, depending on what deal I get. So I would have spent at least $2,000 just to bring stuff. And that, by the way, does not include food and travel, and then the extra hotel costs for the people who thought they wouldn't have to pay it. So, like, by the end of this event, you're in the hole at least $2,000. That's on a really fucking cheap thing. That's that's not including
this. Okay, continue that because this made me realize something.
Okay, so anyways, that's like, and then especially when you're told, okay, so say you plan for 1,200, and then the Friday before you get told 600, I would have been like, girl. But for real, I just bought, like, what if you had bought 700 items because, 1,200 people? Like, you're telling me? Like, here's the thing, though. I know a lot of authors tend to buy low anyway sometimes because if you're at a big event, you don't assume that every single person is going to come to your table. Yeah, so you try to assume at least 20 to 40%, right? So you're telling me attendant number-wise that she was running around telling everybody a number from 1 to 1,000, but, like, the actual number, the Eventbrite number of how many people showed up, Crystal, was 140. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. To this day, this organizer is still telling authors, no, I sold 600 tickets. But if for some reason,
tickets, there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that only 140 people are going to show up because your suggested cash was spent. But
you're
back to the swag conversation. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I'm remembering everything correctly because I'm wondering about something. Did these authors send her the swag or did they bring it themselves?
I believe some authors brought the stuff with them and some sent stuff to her. Because I don't know all of the numbers there, but supposedly, I mean, I'm assuming that maybe she told them she was going to have other swag. So I don't know how much was by the authors, and that's the part I don't know for sure. I don't know how much was by the authors and how much was by the organizer saying she would have swag for people.
Yeah, because what my concern is if the authors, because you're free to correct me in the comments in case I'm overlooking something or I'm overthinking something. But if any of the authors sent her this swag that we suspect Santa Claus pilfered, part of me does question if the swag wasn't there, if she kept said swag and may have sold some of it.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't even know. And that honestly, if I find out that she had swag from the authors that she sold, I will lose my shit more. We will times 3 this. My rage will be
this is my speculation. We don't know for sure in this area.
That is just We're not sure because supposedly I know that she was going to have swag in there from the kind of the theme of everything. So I don't know what was going to be provided by her or other people, but I want to say for just a fact that if she took any swag from authors and then it got lost, that is despicable, disgusting, and not lost because let's be real, she probably kept all of it. That is disgusting if it existed. I don't believe any of the swag from her even existed. Despicable, disgusting, atrocious. Add your words in here because it's all fucking stupid. It's not okay. But here's another number I want to throw at you.
Oh
So
boy,
she's
the
telling
numbers.
people, we're gonna, and I don't even like to math. So let me tell you, the fact that I have to math because of this twit, I'm gonna need pain and suffering for this too. So
Yeah,
I'm looking at
we need a notebook to keep up with these numbers.
dude. So here's the thing: 600. She's telling authors right now in emails that 603 people actually were supposed to attend, and only 140 came. Okay, so if you do a little bit of just not even that much division, just a little basic division, you have 4.3%. That is 4.3% of the number of attendees that were supposed to show up. How? That is less than the norm. That is fucking the percentages.
You know, that's kind of odd when people pay for things.
You're telling me that you basically it basically equates to 10% of who should have showed up. So you're telling me that supposedly 100% would have been 603, right? Only 140 showed up. That's less less than 10%. That's just wild.
That
It's wild to me.
Logical sense. It just screams that either a massive amount of people wanted to waste money or somebody's lying. I think somebody's lying.
Oh, I know she's lying. So here's what makes me for sure she's lying. Because there was a dessert table and I think it was in the ballroom. I in the ball section, not ballroom. I apologize, not the ballroom. It was
I saw people eating something, but I don't know what it was.
There was a picture of a dessert table that had been set up. I want to say it was for this pretend ball she had, right? And on that table, the pictures, Crystal, more food math this time, better math.
Why are you making us do math, lady?
No, I know,
I'm not fussing at you. I'm fussing at the scammer.
There was one lemon, and by the way, the fact that people counted this shit tells you how pissed off book talk people were because they counted, and these are readers. They like to read, not count. They counted shit out to be like, are you for real? So you're telling me she thought 600 people were going to show up. She has this dessert table. You tell me why you have 12 macaroons, one lemon bar, and just basically what was implied to me when I saw those pictures, she basically bought this tiny dessert platter from the store. Maybe two. There might have been two of them, but I don't think
macarons.
so. 12 macaroons. One lemon bar, though. I love lemon bars. I would have snatched that thing real quick. One lemon bar.
I don't want to talk about the lemon bar because that pisses me off. I mean, you and I would have gotten in a fight over that lemon bar.
Yes. Me and Crystal would have had to fight over the lemon. We would have ended up having to cut it in half. Probably in thirds to fucking share with anybody else who wanted it. So you're telling me
the secret that we got the lemon bar first,
right? And then other people would have dogpiled us. We would have been hurt. So you're telling me you thought you were going to have 600 people show up to this event, especially this fall, and you had 12 macaroons, one lemon bar, and a few assorted other pastries. You're telling me you expected 600 people to share a $25 dessert platter? How does that work?
I don't know, but I do know I'm probably going to go out and buy a macaron after this.
It's so clearly a lie that you knew. She had to have known that not a lot of people were signed up because there's no way. If you're going to be an organizer, common sense tells you, okay, I'm going to have 600 people. I should have a catering of a company. I should have at least some Costco platters.
You know, it's not that hard to get a caterer or a chef for a reasonable price if you contact them early and plan it out.
Right.
But that's just common sense, which isn't allowed here.
No. So you're telling me that you thought there were going to be 600 people at this event and you didn't even bother to buy more than $25 worth of desserts? Are you kidding me? No, I think she lied for sure. I mean, I think that's what proves to me she lied. And
Well,
Brandy,
it
by the
has to be
way,
a lie. I mean, you only have one.
yeah,
Only having one lemon bar is a fucking crime. We all know
that
that.
is a crime. So
And
Brandy BXRB, or is it BX? I'm sorry, Brandy, if I'm mispronouncing your TikTok name. Brandy on TikTok, and you can find her. Just look her up. She has wonderful purple, multicolored hair. She's the one who actually pointed this out, and I was like, that is such a good point to make. That you had this little amount of desserts, but you thought you were going to have 600 people show up, especially, and then there's the added fact that in this economy, there's no way you can make me believe that 600 people are going to pay $250 for a ball and not show up. Not
ugh.
show up at
Well,
all.
apparently she thought people don't value their money and time, so that they
Right?
wouldn't come. I mean, you said ball. Everybody looks forward to these balls. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to attending a ball possibly next year. You don't skip these balls because
Mm-hmm.
they're like those big time events. You get dressed up all
Right?
fancy. You get to chit chat with people and be fancy.
Have
I mean,
fun.
even when I was researching, I was researching just for the previous video, I
Mm-hmm.
found a few bookish balls and it showed people dancing, have a grand old
Yep.
time, everything. These things are very, very popular. It's good for
Yeah.
connections, making friends, and it's good
Yep.
for, getting rid of some steam and stuff to relax a
Yeah.
bit. So
No,
don't do things
especially
like
after you
this.
have this event and you have the signings and it's
Yeah.
stressful trying to do all this stuff and get everything organized. Like
You look
you're
forward to some
telling
fun.
me, yeah, you want to go to this mall and have a party. You want to relax with your book
By the
friends, make new friends, have a blast.
way this ball went, you would have had more fun at Taco Bell.
Dude, Taco Bell would have had music. Anyways.
That's
Oh,
true. Taco Bell would have shown you a good time.
and the ball lies. So the ball lie, the biggest one, I think, I mean, other than the ball decor got lost by the convention center, which is some utter bullshit, is that she claimed that because people were like, there's no music, there's no DJ. So she claimed at the event that the DJ had gotten sick and just not showed up. And then but like, and then Brandy and Co. had to go. I mean, thank goodness for that security guard and Steve, because security guard was like, "Here, Steve, meet Steve. Use Steve for music." But like, they had to
I
do their
told
own
everybody
music.
at my chiropractor's office about Steve. They are huge fans of Steve. They applauded him for being there,
Yep.
when things were dire.
Yeah.
We love you, Steve.
And then the last fact about this fall that it also incenses me and just makes me, I mean, this chick needs to leave book talk because I don't think my rage is going to calm down. So these readers, by the way, these poor readers that are getting ignored by this event person and the authors too, the authors just as much. But these readers who paid, by the way, I knew the authors had paid $250 for this fall because it was included in like a certain package. But evidently the readers paid $250 for this fall too, Crystal.
Why would the readers need to pay $250? That is a big
The
lot.
readers, like, and it just astounds me. Like, and here's the thing, and this is, I think, one of the points that Alyssa wanted to make was that the authors probably wouldn't have said anything about this event if it had not been for the ball. Because she even said if they had had some twinkle lights and backdrops, we would have just let it go. We would have just kept it to ourselves, not said shit. But like, she had these poor readers pay $250 for the ball, pay money to dress up, and then they didn't even, like, she said that watching the readers come in to see when they saw that the floor and the 57 pedals, which we mentioned before, and just the lack of decor and music, she said that it was heartbreaking for them. It was heartbreaking to see readers look up at least uncomfortable. I mean, they were probably furious, but like, to see the readers look upset when you come into this room that you're dressed to the motherfucking fantasy nines on, and you see a concrete floor, some fucking basic bitch tables with pedals on it, and nothing else. Like, that broke her heart. I think it broke probably a lot of the authors' hearts, and I think that's probably why.
It doesn't surprise me. That's less than doing the bare minimum.
It is just, it is us, and to have them pay, to have those readers pay $250 for that ball, for that, that's not even a dollar store. I called it a prison ball because
And
it wasn't even.
you also have to think about, not only did the readers pay for these tickets, but you have to think they also paid, probably men paying for nice suits, women paying for very fancy
I
ball gown
know
dresses. That
the
is a lot of
attire.
money to just have a nice ball, and instead of a ball, you get a rat trap.
And you don't even have drinks at this. You have a dessert table that's basically crap, that doesn't even have enough desserts for people. You have no music. You have a concrete hard, which, by the way, is hard for certain people who have illnesses. And there was at least one disabled author there who had, a chronic pain issue. That this concrete floors are not easy on the shoes. And if you're wearing like high heels, like that is just
That
painful.
hurts.
And for her to put no effort, no work, and to charge the readers and the authors $250, like I want her to lose all the money ever. I don't care. I'm almost to the rage point that like I don't even care if this girl has bankruptcy issues. Because let me
I
tell
am
you,
looking for worse than bankruptcy, because this was beyond hurting somebody.
it was just it comes off like I was trying really hard in the last one to not say scam, but like what else can we say? Is there
That's
anything
how I've
else
been
that we
feeling
can
through
say
this.
about
Like,
that?
he made me hardcore suspicious to the first time, that I literally did not want to give her the benefit of doubt in a tiny way. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I was respecting the fact that you and we're professionals. We like to have a
Yep.
little bit more confirmation information. And,
Yeah.
it's interesting. As soon as we were done recording, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, let me edit this. You and I thought we were finished. That's all we're going to get.
Right.
Massive waves of info just kept coming out.
Poor
Next thing I
Crystal.
know, I was editing. And
You
next thing I
guys.
know, Mia is sitting here sending me all this videos and other evidence to my
Like
inbox.
20 videos, you guys.
Hell?
Poor Crystal was like, I thought we were done. And I was like, girl, not even. And then the next day, that was like 3 days ago we did that podcast. So then I sent her, there was like an hour later and a bunch of videos had gotten uploaded. So, I was like, I send them all to Crystal to save them for myself so I know what I'm looking at. And then the next day, there's even more videos and there's more bullshit.
I wake up to more videos in my inbox that she has sent me.
Poor
And then next
Crystal.
thing I know, it wasn't just poor me. Next thing I know, I'm sending her videos.
So
I'm
between
posting as
the
many
two
as
of
I
us,
can on my Instagram.
we literally were like losing our shit because we were literally like, this can't be. No, you can't tell me. And then
I remember I was running into Publix real quick for an errand, and I was telling my mom about the whole thing, and I thought I was done telling her everything. Second I get out of Publix, we're at home taking a minute because we thought everything is done for the day. I opened my TikTok and several more videos come, and I was like, sweet Lord in heaven, what is this? And she's asking me what. I'm like, the scandal isn't over yet. She's like, what do you mean? You're still talking about this? I'm like, more stuff is coming out.
We still have more stuff, you guys. We're not even finished right now here. We're getting towards the end, but there's something that we didn't really talk about the last. I mean, we briefly mentioned the narrator panel, but let's talk about the panels, which, by the way, did not get announced. The only one that got announced was the narrator panel by our sweet, lovely Carmen. Please follow her on TikTok. If it wasn't
for Carmen, I don't think, to be honest, I give Carmen all the credit. If it was not for the fabulous Carmen, and yes, she is fabulous, so I'm emphasizing that. If it wasn't for fabulous Carmen, I do not believe that narrator panel would have happened, let alone run well.
Yeah, because Carmen took her job as the moderator very seriously. And so we have this narrator panel, which we did mention. All these poor people had to sit on the floor. And by the way, they were also lied to. So she told them there were no chairs. So then somebody went to find her to say, hey, there's no chairs. And then she's claiming, oh, chairs will be brought in. And I'm sure they're coming. And they never came. There was no chairs. No chairs.
They're like the dad who says he's going to go get some cigarettes and come back. They'll arrive eventually.
But here's the part that I know Crystal is upset about, and I'm very much like just disgusted by. So there was 2 other panels. By the way, the BIPOC one for sure. There was a BIPOC panel and an LGBTQIA plus panel. And the BIPOC one, I don't know when the LGBTQIA one was hosted, but the BIPOC panel evidently was held on the first day. And evidently, which was, I believe, Friday, And by the way, the organizer never told anybody that the first day was only for the VIP people who
It
had
was a
paid
secret.
extra. Yeah, it was a secret. So you're telling me you're holding the BIPOC author panel, which by the way, she never announced and never, because there were a lot of authors who said, yeah, I was supposed to be on this panel and I never even heard about it. And this panel, I don't even know if this panel happened because I was never fucking told. And because there were no volunteers to kind of help any of these authors out to like leave their tables
I want to
and
pause
help
real
them,
quick. Were there no volunteers, or did she just not tell
there was no
anybody and it was in the
volunteers.
chats?
There was no volunteers at all for this event, at all, Crystal.
Oh boy.
So, anyways, so there's these two panels, and I know for sure the BIPOC one happened on the first day because this got talked about extensively. And Callista and the rest were very upset about this. Rightfully so.
I'd be
Rightfully the fuck
too.
so.
Actually, I
So
am, and I wasn't even there.
here's the facts on this. So BIPOC is Black, Indigenous, people of color. So basically, it's supposed to represent African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans. There's so many different cultures, right? So the BIPOC panel is supposed to really give representation to the authors like Crystal, like other people who don't get a lot of representation, and so that you can hear kind of their struggles with writing books, what they've had to deal with characters, reader, maybe whatever, like whatever the topics would have been, that's what it was about. So, yeah.
It was a white man.
Yeah. Oh, not even just a white man. It was the organizer's husband.
Yeah.
Who hosted it. And I want to say that every BIPOC author who was there was incensed, and rightfully so, because this person, and I probably shouldn't have even joked about like who hosted it, because fuck this guy, honestly. He hosted this event.
It was rude. Really, we'll get into how he handled this, because I would say this. I'm going to make this argument. If you were in a situation, let's say she actually did have somebody volunteer and wasn't lying about it, and actually did have somebody who, like the day of, just jipped out. You know, they would have, if they were being honest, addressed it then and there.
Yeah.
But
well, not even that, but she could have asked Callista to host it. Sorry, Callista. She could have asked any of the other BIPOC authors who were there to host this event.
That's what I meant by no volunteers originally. Because when you told me there were no volunteers, I was thinking no volunteers, and she didn't just not tell anybody, because she could have just had one of the authors there, like you were saying. There were plenty of Black authors there. She could have gone to any Black author or other group author that was going to be on that panel and said, hey, the person we had sign up, to host this just ditched us. Can you host it? And if it was like, I'm just making this for argument's sake, really, I think it's some BS on her part. Let's say she was going to have her husband do it. It would only be like if none of the authors on the panel really wanted to host it. But, she didn't extend that offer to them. And it would have been better to do that. Like, I went to Dragon Con, and a lot of the panels, a lot of the authors would always host it. They would have the questions or whatever was decided would be going to ask, and they hosted it. I went to more than one panel at Dragon Con that did that. That is not that hard to do. I have been to other author events. That is not that hard to do.
She could have asked any of them, and any of them would have stepped up and said, sure, let me do it. And I mean, and when I say no volunteers, I mean, she didn't have anybody to run water to these guys, excuse them for a bathroom break. All these authors had to help each other out because they had no help on the floor. And then you get to this panel.
She could have avoided all of this fairly easily. She could have even stayed there herself and tried to assist people. But obviously she was just, doing whatever the hell she wanted to do, being lazy.
Right. So anyway, she had her husband moderate this BIPOC panel. And I want to say every single author, and I think what I was told is there was 3 authors there. And then there was 2 or 3 assistants to each, there was 3 assistants, one to kind of each of them. And then there was him and they were told, by the way, she lied to them about that. She told them he was a journalist that she had gotten to host it.
Oh my Lord.
And they only, by the way, Crystal, the only reason they found out it was her husband was because somebody found a picture of her with him at a church that was clearly them being together. And that's how they found out it was her husband, that it wasn't a journalist, that she had just lied
To be
again.
honest, I think they're in on this scam together. This could be something. We need to really
Who
look into
knows?
these people, because for all we know, they could be have been pulling stuff like this to make it look legitimate at first.
I don't
I'm
know.
not going to draw any hard conclusions now, because we're still finding out more information every gosh darn day. Even though I expected this to end days ago, it wouldn't surprise me if we find some more information tomorrow.
Well, and then with the BIPOC panel, it was specifically said by every single author who went to it, so the 3 authors there, that he asked the same question that, by the way, came off as very, at the very least, ignorant, but like sounded kind of slightly on the racist side of like, well, how do you handle characters of color or some bullshit like that? It was some bullshit question.
Like he's giving
he asked it. No, he asked this question
like
17 times.
Question.
Crystal, he asked this question 17 times in
I know,
different
that's
ways.
why I said that it sounds more like a white man of privilege who's trying to be on that hill, standing on that hill and acting like he is somehow being professional in that space, when really that's a very unprofessional and rude thing to do. And then, I'm sorry, just this guy infuriates me. Ever since you sent me the extra information about him, because I knew a bunch of stuff about him. I didn't know who specifically he was, but I knew a bunch of stuff about him. And when you sent me that final information, it's just like everything about this guy makes me feel very angry and very, I wasn't there. Yes, I wasn't there. Yes, I wasn't on that panel, but even I feel very disrespected.
Yeah, it is. It's so clearly like you could have asked any of these BIPOC authors to be a host. You could have had, I mean, or you even the basic due diligence, give him a list of questions to ask. But by lying and saying, oh, he's a journalist, but he asks the same questions the 17 different ways.
Yeah,
like it's so disrespectful.
And they don't do that.
And the authors even said they were trying to have a good discussion despite him, but like he didn't add anything to the conversation at all, other than this one question 17 times. And by the way, again, these guys counted, and these are readers, these are authors. They don't want to count. They counted the 17 ways he was disrespectful. So, like, for real now, for real.
Yeah.
And then what's even worse is, so then we found out, so the LGBTQIA panel, that nonsense came out because also the person who hosted that evidently was there for half of it and then just left and never came back. And they didn't know what had happened. They didn't know if it was supposed to end. And there weren't a lot of attendees to that one either, again, because panels were not announced. Nobody fucking knew. And then come to find out, people compared notes and I don't know, this is what gets me, is the fact that she assumed nobody would talk to each other. Like, girl, this is book talk. We all fucking
sound like a big brain person. It sounds like she had half of a plan and got people involved. And then when it was time for the other half, where she just dances away, everybody's like, hey, wait a minute.
So then you find out that on the LGBTQI panel, where the person who hosted was some white guy again, and he left halfway through.
A straight white guy for the gay panel.
And they said he looked like he was bored. That one, they were like, oh yeah, he looked like he was bored. Turns out, also her husband, same person.
Yep.
So basically, she told her husband, here, you're going to host these events. Didn't bother to talk to the queer authors who were there, who were wanting, because let me tell you, we have a very proud group of authors who write queer books. I have a queer book, but like I'm not, that's not necessarily, mine's more the fantasy field. I'm not just in queer romance fantasy, but there are a lot of very proud queer authors who write in the queer field, who are queer themselves. Like some of them are queer, some of them aren't, but there's a lot of authors who write wonderful books in this field. And you're telling me the ones you had, you couldn't just fucking go up to them and say, hey, do you want to come and do this event? Like any of them would have hosted, but no, you just shove your husband in there. So in one of the events, he gets bored and fucking leaves. And in the other one, he just wants to be a disrespectful dumbass.
Well, he was disrespectful. I'm going to be honest. He was just disrespectful all around. And he was being a dumbass all around. I'm emphasizing that. Ugh. It's
just astounding. Like between the panels, and just all of it. The lack. So I said this in the last recording because I had said previously, so let's talk about like the apologies and the aftermath, right? Let's focus
The
on that for a minute.
so-called apology, because I don't want no damn apology.
So the first apology obviously was about the ball, right? Where the 5-second video of like, I'm so sorry, it wasn't up to my standards. Bitch, you were the one planning it. Who failed except you? Okay, anyways, I'm gonna simmer down now. So anyway, she made this half-assed apology.
Right now, relax.
I know. So she gave this apology, this 5-second apology, and she said, you know what? I'm really sorry. The ball wasn't up to our standards, but we will give refunds for it. Okay, right? So she did. She posted that. And Slanted, I kind of knew this, but Slanted confirmed it for me that it only happened because of Callista. Because Callista and her boss, author self, because she's very much a book talk boss. Let's just call her book talk boss. Yeah. She went and she sought this person down. And she was like, you, especially after that, when she saw the ball, like, I would have lost my shit too. Like, I probably would, there would have been a train of us going to find this chick. Like,
I know.
She searched her down and said, and basically made her apologize because she was not having it. And I don't blame her. I would have been like, these poor readers are paying $250 and you just give them this? Who are you kidding? Where did the money go? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? The ball decor got thrown away by the convention center. Girl, for real.
Okay, I want a straight story, Mia. Was the ball decor thrown away by the convention center, or did the cleaners arrive early and clean everything amazingly fast?
Oh, well, evidently she said both, because it sounds like she told somebody that the ball decor, water, and snacks were lost by the conference center, and then I heard that version too. Yeah,
I was about to ask a smart person question. I need to stop doing that.
So you know this is not the smart person event, Crystal. It's not the smart person event. No, so she did. I did see a few people who said they were told by her that the cleaners for the convention center had evidently cleaned out the supplies that were there for the ball decor and tossed them out. So it was all there for the convention center.
It's not nice to lie on them.
Right. So basically, no matter what she said, it was all a goddamn lie. So it doesn't matter which lie she told to who, because it was all fucking lies.
I don't think she knows what the truth is.
So then let's talk about, and I posted a few TikToks about this, because there wasn't, so on her Instagram, which by the way, I did not see this on her TikTok. So there was a live that happened 2 or 3 days after all the shit show went down. And Callista, Brandy, and several other people, Percy J, several other people were in it. And they all talked about their experiences. And while they were on the live, she is emailing them actively. And by the way, she's also privatizing stuff, turning comments off, and trying to hide the fuck out of everything at the same time, because she sees that all the book talks in this live and they're pissed. So she's emailing them and she's sticking to her. It was 600 people story, right? So they asked her for screenshots. They said, show us the proof, baby. Show us the proof. So first, I know for a fact she claimed that she could not show it because it had personal information and she didn't want anybody to be doxxed or some nonsense. And then the other thing was something like she couldn't get a screenshot. I don't fucking know. She had 2 or 3 lies for that too, because they were really trying to press for that, because I think they were some of these people were vets and they were very upset that she would do this to new authors. So they were like, you need to give us proof. You need to prove to us that you had these 600 people, because there needs to be a reason why you told these authors to spend this much money, and there has to be like something. You need to prove that you were not just straight out scamming us, okay? And so basically, she still has not given them a straight answer. So then I believe it was yesterday or the day before, she posted this Archer Management, and I said this earlier, it was Archer Fantasy Entertainment on TikTok and Instagram, and then it changed to Archer Management. So I don't know, what the fuck ever, Archer, what the fuck ever his name is. She posted a half-ass apology. And in this apology, she basically, and I'll read it. So her Archer Management statement.
Crappy apology, because I'm tired of this, but read the crappy apology, because the people need to know.
So basically, and I feel like she was lying behind this too, because I read some of these comments and it really felt like she's running around telling people that she's trying to blame the author. She's blaming the convention center. She's blaming the little dog Toto, who was never there. Like, she's blaming everybody, their brother, their
Your
dog, and their second
imaginary
cousin.
Schnauzer that won Best Dog of the Year award.
Yes. So here is the statement she put out. She said, because a lot of videos, by the way, everybody was trying, and I will still say, everybody is trying to be classy and nice, and they are trying to not harp on her. They are just trying to say, we want accountability. We want you to, one, prove that you were going to have that many attendees and that it wasn't just you trying to scam people, but also you need to apologize to these authors and refund all the money, right? So this is the statement, Archer management statement. We take full responsibility for the way that AML was handled. We are doing refunds for every attendee, author, and vendor. We are also canceling all of our future events, and we'll be processing refunds for those as well. Crystal.
I'm sorry, I just needed a minute.
Crystal, it was just, I'm looking at that and I'm like, you say, and this is what I said in my TikTok, you're sitting here trying to tell me that you are taking full accountability. And by the way, there were statements in this where people were trying to be like, well, why did the authors bring so much stuff? And there's all stupid kind of shit being said in that comment section.
Yeah, I don't want to rehear the stupid questions.
I'm not repeating the stupid shit. There was some stupid ass shit in there. And there was a troll who was like, go anyways. So there was a lot of attention seeking and nonsense. But basically, people were giving her way too much grace. Because a lot of people were like, well, it was your first event. No, actually it's her second event. But oh my God, like anything can go wrong. Like, oh my God, you're being so great to do this. I am not giving her ass any credit.
Those were trolls and are not her friends just popping in to try to make her look good.
For all I know, she made all those accounts and posted. I have no goddamn clue. I was just a little astounded at that. But regardless, that to me, okay, you are sitting here in this one barely a paragraph statement saying I take full accountability. How? How? One person has gotten a refund. You have not done a full length apology that I've seen up until today, and I haven't checked Instagram yet.
Sincere apology, because those 2 apologies she's given so far, I do not feel like they
has she given. I saw the first one. What was the second one? Did I miss a second one?
I think you did. It was the one you read.
Oh, sorry. Well, that doesn't count to me. And here's why I don't count it as an apology. Because she's not saying I'm sorry in this. No, nowhere does it say we are. And who is this we, by the way? It should just be I. But she doesn't say we are sorry. She says we take full responsibility for the way it was handled. But here's the thing. She spent taking full accountability to me, especially in this situation, specifically in this situation, means that you are emailing every author, you are emailing every attendee, or you can do a group message and just be like, we are very sorry. We fucked up the swag bags. We fucked up the decor. We fucked this up. We fucked that up. We did it all. We're sorry. She has not done that. She has not done that. All she has done is that 1 5-second apology, and that's it. She has not taken accountability for lying to people about attendees. She has not taken accountability for her lack of management of everything. She has not taken accountability for the disrespect shown to every single author, especially to BIPOC authors and LGBTQIA authors for those bullshit panels. She hasn't given any respect or apologies to narrators who had to sit on the fucking floor doing their panel. She has not given any apologies to the readers who had to pay $250 for a prison ball. She has not done any of that. Any of it. Anything. So how are you going to sit here and say you take full responsibility when you have done everything but? You have blamed the convention center. You have blamed, I don't know, God and Satan. You basically blamed everybody that could be blamed except yourself.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm going to be honest. Like I was saying, I don't feel like either of those apologies were sincere, combined with I also do not feel like we'll get a more major apology from her unless it gets to the point where there is a lawsuit, which I have a feeling it might. I'm not going to say it will. I'm going to say it might, because the way she's acting, the fact that only one person has received a refund, the fact that we were talking earlier about that author who got 6 and everything else, Some people may start suing for emotional damage, financial loss, everything. This could become a joint lawsuit. And that is probably when we're going to hear any type of more, I guess, somewhat sincere apology. But I get the feeling she's either going to do that or make it sound like she's being attacked unnecessarily. I'm not going to say exactly what's going to happen because I feel we'll learn as time goes by. But this has been a huge clusterfuck of a convention. And a lot of people got hurt, both readers and authors who were attending. But I shout out to the security guards who were there, who at least let something flow nicely. But other than that, this has been the biggest scandal of the book world in 2025 as we've seen so far.
And it's astounding to me that you're ignoring readers. You're barely giving any kind of a nod to the authors. Like, I am just astounded. Like, and I've heard that she has done some fake apologies behind the scenes, and I call them fake for this reason. Because again, even in those apologies, quotation mark, unquotation mark, she literally still blames everything on everybody else. So there is no accountability being taken here. And the fact, and by the way, I even said, so I said this in a TikTok, I was like, because she was still, by the way, she has taken money for the nocturnal event that was supposed to happen in October. She had taken money for the next AML next year. Yes. And so those are the refunds that she's talking about. But the fact that she even tried to keep the nocturnal event going, she only canceled it. She canceled it what? She only canceled it a day or two ago because everybody had pulled out.
Yeah, speaking of that event, I have something I wanted to check. Yesterday, when we were talking about that nocturnal event being canceled, I forget who it was, but they went on to the Eventbrite website and it was still up. So are we sure that
it was still on there that she was going to do that? The event was still on. And I am just, the fact that it took her all the backlash to basically like even finally realize that it was not going to happen. I am just astounded. I am astounded. I am just like, how?
Well, I don't understand. Someone who is just arrogant. I think she just feels like, oh, she can keep doing this, and people just let her do it and try to just always be on her side with it. Now, I will say the bookish community is a strong community. When you do right by everybody and try to be a team player, everybody in this community will stand with you. We really do. Because I'm not going to get into this, but there was a certain incident with one of my book reviews. I'm not going to get into specific what it was, but the second I even mentioned it to my bookish friends, all of them had my back because they know all the hard work I put into my book reviews because I want the authors whose books I'm reviewing, despite what my score is, to look good. And that's just, I'm saying this because the bookish community is a strong community. We always try to stick by each other. We always try to help each other. We always try to protect each other. And when somebody comes in trying to act like, oh, I'm going to do a legitimate event and take advantage of readers and authors, as a community, we stand together to call that person out and not let them get away with it because what we do is not easy. And we all know that. And that's why we try to stand together. And for somebody to try to take advantage of that and to think that they can continue to do that, it just tells me they're a skeezy person who does not think beyond themselves and thinks, well, whatever they want is just what's going to fly.
And it's astounding to me. Actually, wait, you know what, Crystal? I found out I was wrong.
About
she
what?
She did a third half-ass apology. My bad.
Oh,
I don't want to take away.
To be honest, Mia, I thought she was about to actually sound sincere for months.
No.
We were getting our third level of half-assery.
No. She literally, she has the fucking gall. Okay, well, I'm officially pissed. Pissed again.
No, what did she do this time? Yeah, what did she do this time? Because I am going to open up a nice cold Mike's Hard beer after this one.
She has the audacity. Okay, hold on. First, I missed her third apology. My bad, you guys. AML refunds. She has another bullshit post here. AML refunds.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Right. I wholeheartedly apologize for how the event turned out this weekend. We are currently processing refunds as fast as we can. All refunds will be processed by May 31st. So I guess that was the month thing everybody was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We thank and appreciate you for your patience. Okay, so she did pretend to apologize.
Again.
I don't see rain falling on her face crying as she's on her hands and knees. That's what I actually want to see. But okay,
I feel like
I
we should
guess.
stay away from her. Lightning may strike the second she opens her mouth.
Oh no, but it gets worse. Do you want here's the audacity of her. And this is I am actually really not happy about this. So her latest post, which was when was this? When did this get posted? One day ago. So this got posted yesterday. She had the audacity, Crystal, to post, please support the authors and vendors of AML and list them all. Every single person you lied to, every single person that you had the audacity. Oh, and she didn't even spell. I believe she misspelled a few of these names. So, anyways, stop putting that aside. These are the people that she lied about. These are the people that she lied to, and she has the goddamn audacity to post. Please support the vendors of a. Are you for real? Are you for real?
I'm so mad that I'm at a loss of words. I'm so pissed.
I am so.
One good thing I will say out of us reporting this, at least we're getting more eyes on it and letting more people know about who this woman is and what she is.
I am infuriated by this. And I don't know, maybe other people won't be. Here's why I take this as her spitting in their faces. Because you have the fucking audacity and gall to post this post being like, please support the authors and vendors that you fucked over. You fucked them over. You lied to their faces. You manipulated them because, by the way, there's a second part of this that I didn't really talk about before, but I heard about it and I wasn't sure if I was going to comment or not, but I'm adding this in here because now I'm real pissed. There was a Discord for this event thing that, by the way, because everybody was, some people were in this Discord, some people weren't. And my understanding of this Discord is that she spent a lot of time in there whining and moaning about personal life events in regards to because people were asking questions. So she was in there trying to act like, oh, I have this, and I'm not going to mention the specific event. It's not my business, and I also don't give a fuck. But what I am going to say is she spent a bunch of time in the Discord whining and moaning about her poor life stuff, basically guilt tripping anybody who was in there. And she also did that to everybody during the event when people were like messaging her, like, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? And not getting answers and da 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 da. And she's guilt tripping people. Oh, my identity got stolen. Fake. This happened. Fake. The convention center did this, this, and this. Fake. Lie, 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 lie.
This is nothing but lies, and it's so freaking obvious she's lying.
And then you have the audacity to post it as if you have any kind of a right to even mention these people. The fact that to me, it comes off as her trying to use them. And by the way, at least 3 of these people I see, Percy J, who got so lied to, Callista, all these people, and then Selena Coco. I want to mention her specifically because she is the one who literally got told. She was another one of those authors who got, and a vendor who got told that that the organizer ran around saying, because evidently she was going to be helping with some of the book stuff. She evidently, the organizer was running around telling people that person had in fact scammed her. And the fact that you're going to have the fucking audacity to post this post and act like, oh, I just want to help them. Are you for real? You lied to these people. You manipulated these people. You guilt tripped these people. You stole, and I'm going to use that word, you stole these people's money and did nothing. You know who supported these people? Those people. Those people supported each other. Those people had to fucking be there for each other. And it was like a war zone in that place. Like, come on. You have the nerve to act like...
I'm not going to mince word, lady. You disgust me. You are a despicable human being. I do not know how you are able to sleep at night, but I do know if you don't start giving some real sincere apologies and do better to rectify the wrongs that you have done, then it's going to come back on you in a real harsh way.
Oh, it already has. But let me also mention,
once everything else comes
right,
out.
So in this thing, by the way, she put in, please support all these amazing authors, vendors, and narrators that need your support after our mistakes this past week. Again, it's like, are you for real right now? Are you for like, I don't understand.
Mia, breathe. Just breathe, hon.
And you know what? It's funny because some people are like, you know what? Why are you upset? You weren't there. Look, I am upset because first of all, I have several friends there who I feel so bad for that they had to endure this.
A bunch of our friends went, and two, as members of the author community, when bad stuff happens to our fellows in this field, we're gonna feel upset. There are a lot of kind people in this. It's not nice seeing people suffer.
And not even that, but the fact that and I hope for your sake that everybody gets their money back. They cannot get their time. They cannot recoup any other losses they had, the time, the travel. They cannot get any of that back because that's gone. That's wasted. That's already out the window. But I hope at the very least you give these people their money back and an answer. I want you to fess up. I want you to fess up that you lied about the numbers, that you are sorry you lied about authors, that you are sorry you have the nerve to trash talk people. I want that apology. I want that real apology. I want tears down the face. I want you to put on a goddamn play. I want rain streaming down. I want you in the middle of the street in the darkness. I don't care how you do it. But you need to make, and there is no, I mean, I can't even say make this right because there is no way to make this right. But I need you to give a real fucking apology and own this. Because all I'm seeing is
authors, narrators, artists.
Our mistakes are mistakes. They were not our mistakes. It was your mistakes. Not just mistakes. Lies. You lied. You lied. Ugh.
You lied so much. And I also want you to understand you are responsible for giving me and my co-host both horrible headaches and stressed us out for the past couple days. Okay, we have been stressed about this. It was not fun. Like, we've been hearing this news nonstop. And like I said, the second I was done editing, Mia was already sending me videos with more info. And I was sending her videos more info. You think that's fun for us to constantly hear about people suffering? It is not. It is very, very torturous for us to hear about that because we want to help, but obviously we can't. So don't act like what you did is something that doesn't hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, it is just astounding to me that she is sitting here trying to, and I mean, you can say that, oh, well, look, she did apologize.
Oh, woe is me, bitch. You need to get your shit together.
But again, behind the scenes, every time she was excusing this stuff by lying about whatever had happened, she was still trying to guilt trip people. And I don't think some of the people realize it. That's the thing. I think some people have caught on, but it really feels like to me that she lied so much and she tried to get out of taking any kind of fault every which way she could. And the only reason that she's taken any kind of pretend fault here, and this is pretend to me because this does not feel heartfelt, is that she is now cornered because all of Book Talk knows, and all of Book Talk is like, what did you do? So that's the only reason.
Book Talk people, you don't.
So the fact that she's just sitting acting, I'm not saying she's being nonchalant, but it comes off as like you spent so much time lying. Like, how many videos do we have of people straight out saying, I was told this, I was told this, I was told this?
Yeah, lie after lie after lie. How many videos? It's like every 5 minutes.
You lied to so many people. Like, and it's like if it were one or two lies, like, okay, maybe you overestimated the attendees, or maybe you lost the supplies for the party decor but didn't want to take. Like, if it was one or two lies, I feel like this wouldn't be a big deal. But the fact that you lied so much and you trash talked so many people, and you said, like, you accused people of scamming you. You accused other authors of being problem authors. You said terrible things about a lot of people. And now you just want to be like, but look at me, I'm really trying. Honest, I'm trying right now to look at me trying to take accountability. And I'm listing all the people that I fucked over. You literally just listed every single person you fucked over. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me right now? Oh, she breaks my brain. My brain is broken.
My brain is past
Oh,
broken. I had to take several minutes when we were going over
right.
this to breathe. Did we cover all the lies now that I think about it? Did we
I
miss
think
any
we got
lies?
all of them. I mean, there's
Okay.
probably more I missed.
There's
I'm
probably,
sure I missed some. I
man, while
mean,
you're editing this video, we're probably going to hear some more lies. The biggest, man, I'm going to switch to at least one thing. I thought the biggest thing for me this week was going to be the whole conclave stuff. I thought
all
that would be
right.
the biggest thing for me. I thought the
Yeah.
biggest thing I would be talking to you about this week, just because the whole thing happened, that we have our first American Pope.
I know.
I thought this would be all about that because, to be honest, I was a little nervous about who they picked. I mean, who they were going to pick. But when I found out they picked the American Pope and he's not a hardcore fire and brimstone traditionalist, I was feeling good. But then I saw more news about this. I can't even feel good about having an American Pope for the first time in history.
I know.
I'm emphasizing this. All of us are alive during a historical moment. And I can't get full enjoyment out of this. Why? Because this woman is doing horrible things to people and not taking responsibility. And she needs to take responsibility for what she has done. I don't know if she will. I'm not going to act like it's ensured she will, but she needs to step up and take responsibility and give a damn sincere apology. See, I need to relax right now because I'm about to slam my head on the desk.
Take a breath, Crystal. Right. We all need to take a breath. So anyways, you guys, I think we will stop this here because I think we've ranted for an hour and something minutes. But let me just say, first of all, again, we will have a link below to Atlas Creed, who, by the way, put all these people on his website, who is supporting them.
Shout out to Atlas.
I also have, if you find me on TikTok, I have a video reposting talking about Katie, and I've linked her in it. She's also the one who's going to be trying to do the event. So I want to mention those people because those people actually give a fuck. And those people are actually trying to care and help for these people who have lost time, money, and life. They've lost life over this. Like they have lost so much enjoyment. Like this should have been a fun event.
Some people's health may have been messed up by this.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you have to think about how much money they lost. This when they hurt several, not one, several households will be able to keep the lights on. And with things getting, I know it's in a political episode, so I'm not going to get into this, but with things with the way they're going, this is money a lot of these people desperately
could have used. They could have used it for another event. They could have used it for families. They could have used it for themselves. Like they could have used it for books. There's books they couldn't buy. Like, it's just sad.
With them all.
So anyways, for all the authors and readers and vendors who went to this and narrators, I'm so sorry that you had to endure this. And for all the new authors, really, again, I cannot stress enough. This is not how Book Talk does an event. This is not, there's a lot of people who hold events. I tagged some of them. There is a lot of people on West Coast, East Coast who try to hold events that are awesome and give you the fullest extent of the money you pay for it. And so, and so I just want to mention this is not how this is supposed to happen. I am so sorry that you went through this. And please don't, for those new authors, please don't lose faith. Don't be afraid to go to a convention center. But here's what I'm going to say. If you are not sure, ask questions. You know what? You can ask us. Find us on TikTok. Find us on Instagram. And I promise you here and now, if you ask me, hey, what about this event? And I know anything about it, I will tell you. And if I don't know anything about it, girl, boy, I will search it the fuck out for you. I can play investigator. I've had to do it recently this week. So let me tell you, I am ready to help you out. If you are a new author, especially who is like, I don't know, is this Sinners event any good? Yeah, Sinners event real good. If you need somebody to verify or just ask any of us, you know what? And I think sometimes new authors can get intimidated by like, oh, there's this clique over here or this group over there. All of us are super friendly. It doesn't matter what live you go into. It doesn't matter what Discord you're in. Ask questions. Let me tell you, none of us, we are chatty bitches. We will answer every question. And if we can't answer it, we will find somebody who can.
We will look. We will ask those in our community. We will hunt down the information for you because the book community, we're here for each other, and we do not like people who come into our community and try to take advantage of others.
Yes. We are not here for that. We are here to help each other. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for listening to this special part 2 episode. We appreciate you. Please like and subscribe.
Please like, comment, and subscribe so the YouTube algorithm isn't a jerk to us.
Right. And then also, please click the link. Atlas has all the authors and vendors on his website. Don't even bother to go to this chick's Instagram. Go to Atlas Indie Authors Connect website. We have a link below. Go to and when that event gets posted by Katie and others, we will definitely tell you about it. We're here for it. Love you guys. Have a wonderful night. And Bye-bye. We will see you next episode.
Relax. Have a wonderful night. And just make sure if you ever are confused about anything, feel free to message in the community.
There are no stupid questions.
Don't hesitate to message us. We will try to help as best we can.
We will. Put a comment down below. We will always help. So anyways, love you guys. Night.
Anyway, good night.